What's up, nerds? So I just finished WandaVision episode 6, and it was pretty good, you guys. I actually enjoyed it a lot. And I want to tell you some of my theories on this show. Just some that's and I'll do that at the end and everything. So it starts. We're gonna break this thing down. I really liked it a lot. The acting in this show is very good. The writing is good. I really like it a lot. The visuals are pretty good. They're doing a really good job with this show, and we'll get into it. Some of the characters are kind of annoying, and I'll get into that when we get into this breakdown and everything. But for the most part, this show is gotten really good. Those first three episodes, I didn't like them. I if it would have kept going in that direction, I would have just bailed. But that fourth episode, when they pulled it out and started really going back and forth from sitcom world to, from WandaVision over to the real world was good for me that they did that. So now let's break down this episode. So let's start. So it starts off with the intro to their TV show or whatnot, and it's like this found footage, kind of like a kid with a camera kind of thing, and I really liked it a lot. It was kind of this whole episode was kind of Malcolm in the Middle-ish, in my opinion, and I liked it a lot because the twins were narrating and everything and like talking to the camera, kind of like Malcolm did. I liked that show. So, it's Halloween and Wiccan Billy is dressed up like Wiccan, and Tommy's all like, "Oh, I'm the cool twin. So I've got my costume on." And he's like, "What am I?" He's like, "You're Dorcasaurus or whatever." And then they're like, our uncle's, Billy's all like, "Our uncle's been sleeping since 4." And the other twin's like, "Oh, you're scared of him because you think he's a vampire or whatnot." And then he, zooms up and he's all like, "Ah," or whatever. I can't remember exactly what he says and everything. And they're just like, "Ah." And then Wanda comes down the stairs and she's dressed up as her costume, Scarlet Witch character. And I really like that a lot from the comic books and everything. She looks great. And they're like, "What are you supposed to be?" And she's like, "I'm a Sarkovian fortune teller." And I liked that excuse and everything. And he's all like, something, and he tells her about a memory. And then she tries to remember it. And she's like, "I don't remember how it went down." And I think it's because I don't think Quicksilver, Evan Peters Quicksilver, is, I don't think that he's um Quicksilver from another dimension or whatever, from another world. I honestly think that he is the bad guy. And I said that in my last episode review, that he is the bad guy. I think he's the bad guy. So then the Billy's talking to the camera again, and Dad comes downstairs. Vision comes downstairs, and he's wearing his Vision costume from the comic books, and he's like, says something about how I only put this on because it was the only thing in my closet, and that's because Wanda's controlling everything. And then they do this, like, well, he's like, "I know you've got a thing for Mexican wrestlers or whatever," and she's all like, "Ay Dios mío," is like conquistador. I can't remember exactly what they were saying, and that was pretty cute. And then Quicksilver, Pietro is playing video games with the twins. And then they're like, it's Halloween, and she's like, "You're coming with," and he's like, "I'm on duty, the neighborhood watch and everything, because bad kids and everything." She's like, "This is their first Halloween, you need to be here." And he's all like, "I can't." And they get into kind of like a little bit of fight, and they're upset. And then Pietro's all like, "I can be the dad figure and everything," which I think that it's him, and he's all about the twins. And I'm going to get into it when we get into the commercial of why I think that, and then I'll tell you my theory at the end. So then, he's all like, "I'm going to go, and then Pietro kind of plays off this whole, where, we're going to put all this shaving cream. Do you have balloons and everything?" And they're getting ready to go and trick or treat. So then outside, Monica Rambeau is all like, "You sabotage this whole thing, Mr. Director guy, with that drone." And they bring the drone in, which I thought that maybe it would, I don't know why they would bring it in, but whatever, it doesn't even matter. And then so they're like basically slamming him because he's a white guy, and you got to slam the white guy. And plus he's messing with Vision. My theory with him is just he's trying to create weapons using Vision's technology, and because he had the body of Vision at Sword, and Wanda came in and rescued it, kind of thing. So then Monica Rambeau's like, "You messed this whole thing up," and he's all like, and then he gets a dig at her, and he's all like, "Well, you weren't here for your mom when she died from cancer." So, and I was like, "Oh, dig." I was like, "Sweet burn," and everything. But and then one thing that I did like was he's like, "You people that got dusted, you have this your eyes are all optimistic. I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember his exact word usage. But he's like, you guys are, so optimistic. You don't know what it was like, kind of thing. And I thought that was very interesting because, I really would like to see what kind of what it was like, after, because we kind of got a little bit of glimpse of that in Endgame, but not really. So anyway, so he ends up kicking them out. And then they get into a fight with 3 guards. There's like 3 guards, and Jimmy Woo and Monica Rambeau take out 3 guards with guns, and I didn't believe it. I was like, they took out 3 armed soldiers. Yeah, they did, because that's what the script needed him to do. In real life, I doubt they'd be able to do, and nobody noticed. Like, no shots were fired to allude everybody to this. It's like, whatever. So then they get away, and then we go back into sitcom world, and they're trick-or-treating. And I do like that Quicksilver's wearing his Quicksilver outfit, but, homemade. And Wanda's trying to test him. She's like, you remember that kid that had the weird skin or whatever? And he's like, and he doesn't answer the question. He's just like, you're testing me. He's like, I get it, and everything. So then she's talking to the guy. I don't remember his name, but he's dressed up as Frankenstein, and he's got the little earpiece. And then I'm all like, at first I thought he was a sword agent and everything, but then I was like, it's a little high tech for neighborhood watch, in my opinion. I was like, okay, whatever, but it's fine. And then he's all like, Quicksilver and the twins are taking all the candy, smashing all the pumpkins, and spray painting it, or putting silk string over everybody. And she's watching him do it. And then he's all like, are you okay, Wanda? Do you need me to change anything? You need me to fix anything for you? And she's like, oh no, I'm fine. And I'm all like, interesting. I think it's interesting how she knows that she's the one doing this now. Like, if there's no, pretending kind of thing. And she's all, and all these people come out of it every now and then. So then Vision, and he alludes that Vision is not on duty tonight for neighborhood watch. So then Vision's going at the outskirts of town, and he comes across these people are just repeating what they're doing. They're just doing it over and over again. And this woman's trying to hang up this ghost, and a single tear rolls down her cheek. And I was like, ooh, that's good. It shows that she's being tortured. And so then we go over to the commercial. Now, the commercial is very good. And this has to do with my theory, but it's this claymation stop motion kind of thing. And it's this kid on an island. And I don't know if it's Billy or not, the one twin, but it doesn't even, I think it's Billy, but I don't know. It doesn't even matter, but I think it has other, ramifications. And I'll tell you that after I get done with this breakdown. So then he's like, I'm so hungry. And the shark lands on the thing. He's like, I used to be hungry just like you. And then I got yo magic. And he's all like, and now I'm not hungry ever. And then he gives him the yo magic, and he's trying to open it, and he can't open it. And he's and then so because he can't open his magic, he dies. It shows this thing. My wife and I were watching, and she's like, that's creepy. And I was like, yeah, but I was like, I have a theory, and I'm going to tell you guys it, even though I don't like telling my theories, because if I'm wrong, I feel foolish. Anyways, so we go back to sitcom world where Quicksilver and Wanda are talking, and she's all like, she's like, why do you look different? He's like, I don't know. I was like, all I know is I heard you crawling out for me, and I was here. And she's like, where is your accent? He's like, where is your accent? And I was like, he is doing that thing where he answers a question with a question. And people like that have something to hide. And I think he's the bad guy. He's the bad guy. He's manipulating her to do what she's doing. Or at least something's going on there. So then the twins show up, and they're like, can we go? And she's like, yeah, you can go. Because the one son, Tommy, he realizes he's got the speed. And she's like, yeah, you can go trick-or-treating. Don't go past Ellis Street. And I was like, oh, that's the end of the barrier and everything. And so then they're sitting there talking, and then the twins go off and everything. And then we go back to Monica, Jimmy Woo, and Darcy. And they, Darcy's a hacker now. She hacks into the system, and she realizes that director guy, I don't remember his name, Director Hamilton, I don't remember his name. He's able to track Vision inside the thing, and that's who he's tracking. And it's because he wanted him for weapons. I don't think that storyline is going to be that crazy. I think it's just going to be like he wanted Vision's body to create weapons. That's all I think that happened there. And so he's tracking Vision so he can, eventually get the body back. And so and then Darcy, is like, I gotta get through this kind of thing. And so then Vision's on the outskirts of town. They see that he's on the outskirts of town. And all these people are frozen because they're not in the main scene, which is in the town square. And he's like trying to talk to this woman who's frozen, and he just sees that nobody's moving. So then he changes into his vision self, and then he flies above and he sees this car on the outskirts of town by Ellis Avenue. And he flies over there, and it's we saw it in the trailer. And it's Agnes, who is Agatha Harkness. She's a witch, and I think that we'll get her backstory maybe next episode. I don't know, but like I said, I'll tell you what I think about that in the end. So then he does his little mind thing, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're an Avenger? Are you here to save us?" And he's all like, "I am." Oh, he's like, no, he doesn't say I am. He's all like, no, he's like, "I am here to save you. I am Vision. What's an Avenger?" And she's all like, "Are you dead?" And he's all like, "Why would you say that?" And she's like, "Oh no, am I dead?" And then she's like, "Because you are." And then she just starts saying, "Dead, dead, dead." And I think that Agatha Harkness is a part. Agnes is a part of this, but she's playing like she's not. So then she starts laughing, and she's she she turns around and goes back to Times Square. And she's all like, "Have a happy Halloween," or whatnot. And then he goes up into the field because he's going to leave. And we saw this in one of the promos. So then Monica gets an email from her contact. And I think that it's either one of the Pims or Ant-Man. It's somebody, because, and I'll show you in a little bit, in one of the promos, they drive this truck into the barrier, and I think that the little truck thing is one from Pym Industries and everything, because I think it's what they would go into, what they would drive around in the in some kind of multiverse quantum zone. So Darcy stays behind because she is going to hack this wall and see what's doing, this last firewall. So then we go back into sitcom world, and Wanda and Pietro are talking. And I love how he's all like, "How are you doing this?" And that's what he wants. He wants to know how she's doing this. And she's like, "I honestly don't know. I was just in, oblivion, completely alone. And then boom, this happened," kind of thing. And he's all like, "I was, shot in the street like a chump." And one thing that she does is she turns around and she sees his dead body. And a small piece of me, I don't know now if they're dead, and she's seeing the dead bodies. I think that she just sees them as dead bodies because they're dead. But then she comes back to it, and he's like, "Are you okay?" So then Darcy finally breaks the wall, the last firewall, and there's some kind of special project, and it didn't give us any clues as to what that is. So then Vision starts to come through the wall, and Darcy goes out to see that Vision's coming through the wall, and pieces of Vision start flying off. It was so good. I was like, "Oh my gosh." And he's all like, "Help me," and everything. And to Billy, his powers, boom, it's in effect, and he can see his dad. And he's all like, and he stops his brother from moving, and his powers are blue, because in the comic books, Billy's hex powers are blue. And they're like, "We need to tell Mom." And then Darcy, she's stupid because she lets herself be known. And she's all like, she starts running. She's like, "Why are you helping him?" And I'm all like, "Don't yell. You have the surprise here, and everything. Just go run past them all and pick him up and help him back into the little force field, you dumb. Darcy's stupid. So then he's all like, "Help me," and everything. And he falls over, and Billy's all like, "Mom, Dad needs help. He's in danger," and everything. And then Pietro's all like, and there was some leaks and everything. This whole script leaked online. I knew what was going to happen in this episode. And he's all like, "What do you care about your dad? Your husband died before. He's dead now. You can't help him." And Wanda gets pissed, and she's all like, boom. And she blasts him into some, into a haystack and some Halloween decorations and everything. And the twins are all like, "Oh my gosh," and everything. She's like, "What do you see with your dad?" And she's like, he's by Ellis Street. He's past Ellis Street, and he's in pain and everything. And so Wanda, she stops everything. Oh, so good, you guys. So she stops everything. Everybody goes on pause. They're all like, "Oh," they're doing the what was that challenge called a couple of years ago. And she starts to move the force field. She starts to let it grow. So then everybody's all like, and Darcy gets handcuffed to a truck and everybody starts to run. And Monica and Jimmy Woo are like, step on the gas and everything. So then as it starts to go further, the force field, everything starts to change. The helicopter turns into a balloon. The sword thing gets turned into a circus. The sword agents get turned into circus folk and clowns and everything, which I thought was funny because I think that that's Wanda, messing with them. And commander guy, he barely makes it out and everything. He's like, can anybody hear me? Can you guys hear me? And everything. And nobody can hear him because there's only 3 of you left from sword in that little thing. And then it goes back to Wanda and her eyes are red. So good. And then she goes back to calm. And then they end the episode. And I really liked that a lot. I thought it was very cool, very good. I love that she expanded it and everything. And this is what I have to say. This is my theory on this whole thing. I think that because Agatha Harkness is in it and everything, I think that what this world was I think it was New Salem. And in the comic books, okay, so there's 2 types of magic in the comic books. There's the type of magic that Doctor Strange, which Wanda's powers draw from, and that's magic that draws from the multiverse. It draws from different dimensions, and you use that magic that way. Then there's another type of magic and I'm paraphrasing all of this because it's too much to go into in this video, but there's another type of magic that draws from the energy of Camelot, which is in another dimension, which is in a Outworld, I think that's what it's called. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember off the top of my head. So that's what witches like Agatha Harkness, that's where they draw their magic from. So I think that this was New Salem, and in the comic books, New Salem you can only get access to New Salem if you're magic, if you have some type of magic. So I think that Wanda was drawn to this world, and when she got there, not everybody in the town was a witch, but because it was New Salem, the witches are like, hey, we need some, people around so it doesn't look all witchy and everything. And so she created this barrier. And I think that what's his face? Pietro is Mephisto. I really do think he's Mephisto. I know Nightmare is a thing that people are throwing around, but I don't think it's Nightmare. I think it's Mephisto. And I think there's a lot of other villains like Grim Reaper in here, maybe Clea. A lot of people are saying that, oh gosh, what's her name? The blonde woman is Clea. I don't think she's Clea, but we'll just say that for my theory's sake. So I think he's seen that she has created this world with New Salem. And he's all like, whoa. And I think that he lived in New Salem kind of thing, like popped in because he sucks off the magic from these witches because he can't get into those other dimensions. He just has to eat their, and that's what the commercial was all about. He's trying to get Billy to open up his powers so he can eat his magic. And I think that he's eating the magic and he's not hungry anymore because he's constantly hungry for magic. This is my theory. It's probably wrong. So I think that that's why he wants to know, how did you do this? Because I've never fed so well with this whole world of yours, and I don't want it to go away. And that's why he's Pietro now, because she kept bringing up her brother and everything. And I think that that's why he wants to create another world like this. And that's my theory, and Agatha is, playing her part because she's a witch from, the past or whatnot. And because she's a witch, she can live for a long time. But yeah, that's my theory on this whole thing. But this episode was very good. The show is good. I don't know how I feel about the trio. They're kind of annoying in my opinion, just because their whole thing is like, Wanda's a good guy. And my whole thing is like, no, she's not. She's not 100% good. She did this to this town. There's no, Pietro says in here, you're handling the ethical situation of this whole thing very well. And I'm like, no, she's not. No, she's not. Holding people hostage, you're not handling that well. Okay. If you're holding people hostage, you're a bad person. You need to get that out of your head, that you're semi-good when you're holding people hostage. So that's my breakdown, review, and theory of WandaVision. I hope I'm right. I don't know. If I'm not right, whatever. I don't care and everything. But yeah. So tell me, what did you guys think about this episode? Did you like this episode? Did you not like this episode? Of course you like this episode. You're weird if you didn't. But tell me your theories. Tell me what you guys think. Who's your favorite character? Who do you think Quicksilver is? Because he's not Quicksilver. He's the bad guy. He's a villain. He's just, masquerading as Quicksilver. Yeah, you can go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. You know I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys on the next WandaVision episode. You guys have a good day. Bye.